I think essentially the governments of the Bahamas, and I say that guardedly because I'm talking about both PLP and F&M, have been bought by the Port Authority. And this is a confession made by Jack Haywood at the funeral of Edward St. George of how they would pay their way through and they would give monies to both parties. And so both parties had a hands-off approach of Grand Bahama. I think the rude awakening that we're having now is that we cannot move forward with a hands-off approach. You know, and what I was pointing to you is that these individuals who own the Grand Bahama Port Authority are Caucasians. If they could do what they're doing to each other, imagine what they've done to us. Yeah, well. If they could rob each other, imagine how they've been robbing us. And so these are issues that I hold dearly to my heart. And I hold Grand Bahama dearly to my heart because I see the injustice in Grand Bahama. And nobody wants to speak out against the injustice. But I believe, I believe Grand Bahama has been hoodwinked by our politicians because they all were in the pockets of this, the Grand Bahama Port Authority. And these politicians have taken an offhand approach because, you cannot have an economy like Grand Bahama that was successful. Now it's having problems. But Vaughn, what we're essentially doing is that we're throwing our hands up in the air and said, unless some white fella from America come and bail us out, we dead.
Yeah, major cruise line, anchor project, right.
41 years, last week, we had independent majority rule. After 41 years, we're not in a position where Bahamians can bail out their own economy.
No, we're
not. We still have to wait for some fella from America to come to bail us out. I mean, what's wrong with us? See, essentially our policies have been so backward. We have not invested in the people in Grand Bahama. We have not put them in a position where they're entrepreneurs and they're generating their own wealth. We made them beggars. We made our people panhandlers. We made our people, they got to hold on to the coattail of the politicians to get anything done. Mm-hmm. That is not the country we should have. After 40 years, we should have been in a much better position than we are today. What I can't understand, and everybody knows me, I can tell you the truth, okay? The Lehman Brothers, who owned the Royal Oasis, owed national insurance millions of dollars, right? They owed millions of dollars in casino license tax. They owed the Grand Bahama Port Authority money. They also owed millions of dollars in the pension fund, okay? This same company owned the Holiday Inn on Western Esplanade and also Hurricane Hole over Paradise Island. They owed the government of the Bahamas millions of dollars. Mr. Christie stood up in the House of Assembly and said, because this company owned other interests in the Bahamas, he want to deal with it delicately. Delicately? This is an American-based business. If he had defrauded the IRS of any tax, you think they would have dealt with that delicately?
No, they'd have shut everything down.
Come on, man. We like Uncle Tom's. What's wrong with us in this country? We treat foreign investors as if they're God sent. We are a country of laws. The people in the country should understand that, and the people who are invited to do business in our country should understand that. So the Lehman Brothers essentially should have been sued by the government of the Bahamas for now they were taking the money out of the person's salary for national insurance. They were not paying it to the government.
Right.
So they should have taken them to court. Now the Lehman Brothers also that same year they closed down, disclosed that they made $250 million in net profit.
Right.
And it was in the paper. And I'm saying, wait a minute, hold on now. Are we dunce as a people? We're allowing them to get away with what they got away with? And they're not accountable for it? The same way the hotel on Cable Beach, Ruffin, owed some almost $13 million in casino license tax. You know what Christie did? He forgave it. I mean, when are we in the business of forgiving tax? And our country every year got to borrow almost $200 million just to survive. Mm-hmm. What kind of country are we running? What kind of leaders do we elect to look out for the interests of Bahamians or the foreign investor? You understand? And so essentially, we had governments who have not added value to our lives, but added value to the lives of the foreign investor. And this is why they all lined up to come to the Bahamas, because they know they can get away with a whole lot of things they can get away with here that they can't get away with there. They don't pay their taxes here, and there are no repercussions for that. But the average businessman on the street that don't pay their tax, okay, you understand? We will run behind them and slap them upside the head and tell them they got to pay their tax. Why aren't we doing it to the foreign investor who owes millions and millions of dollars? Mm-hmm. Our priorities are wrong. Yeah. The first and foremost, the first in first segment of people you're supposed to look after as a government is your own people.